Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and the plan for DC Studios Batman just got a major update in the past week as James Gunn's vision of the DC Universe's Batman made his first appearance in the animated Creature Commandos series. While James Gunn and director of the Robert Pattinson Batman films, Matt Reeves, are considering making the Pattinson Batman the official Batman of this universe. In this video, I am going to completely break down James Gunn's updated plan for the DC Universe, the complete slate as we know it to be right now, and everything we know about the DCU Batman. Also, New Rockstars now has a channel membership option where if you hit that join button down by subscribe, you can get access to ad-free versions of select rewatch breakdowns, including an upcoming rewatch series we have planned for this year, the Christopher Reeves Superman films. Joining our membership is just a great way to support what we're doing here at New Rockstars, and we're very grateful to anyone who can do that, as well as to all of you who just watch our videos and support us however you currently do. Okay, James Gunn's Creature Commandos just ended its first season in the past week, giving us our first look at this new DC universe as James Gunn sees it. And in the midst of this Suicide Squad spinoff featuring Amanda Waller, Rick Flag Sr., The Bride, Weasel, G.I. Robot, Nina Mazursky, Dr. Phosphorus, and Eric Frankenstein were several nods to the broader live-action universe of DC characters as it currently exists in Gunn's mind. Even though Creature Commandos is animated, the reason Gunn used voice actors like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus, and Steve Agee as John Economos is that he intends these actors to play the live-action forms of these characters as well going forward. Obviously, Amanda Waller and John Economos have already appeared in live action, but Dr. Phosphorus's original appearance as Professor Alex Sartorius looks exactly like Alan Tudyk, and we know from a set photo that we're going to see a live action form of Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. in Superman this summer. Now, spoilers for Creature Commandos Season 1 coming up here. An early season episode showed a prophetic vision from the clairvoyant Circe of a possible future in which Princess Ilana Rustovic of Pokolstan leads a massacre of the people of Metropolis, including Ilana's crucifixion of DC heroes. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Hawkgirl, Booster Gold, Damian Wayne Robin, Peacemaker, Vigilante, Judo Master, Starfire, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern Guy Gardner. Also behind Vigilante is the Flash of this universe, Wally West, not Barry Allen, and behind Superman but between him and Mr. Terrific is the Blue Beetle of this universe. Basically, everybody. While this season's storyline at one point cast doubt on this future vision being legitimate, by the end of the season, it was confirmed to be a very real glimpse into a very possible future, but a future that was thankfully averted by what happens to Princess Ilana by the end of the season. The Batman of this universe shows up again in Creature Commandos in episode 6, the Dr. Phosphorus episode, which shows us what Gunn has in mind for the Gotham City of this universe, a green-tinted gargoyle-lined Art Deco urban sprawl, similar to Batman the Animated Series, but noticeably different from the Chicago-Pittsburgh inspiration of Gotham that Christopher Nolan used for his films, as well as noticeably different from the Glasgow, Manhattan-inspired Gotham of the Matt Reeves film and HBO's The Penguin. As Dr. Phosphorus rises in this criminal underworld, he gets captured by the Batman of this universe, who stands over him in a skylight backlit by a bolt of lightning, evoking the Dark Knight Returns cover, and most of his suit details are hidden in shadow other than a utility belt and a generally thick build. James Gunn confirmed to Rotten Tomatoes TV that this is the DCU Batman, and that he intentionally left him in shadow.
Batman does exist. He already exists in this universe. He's an important part of this universe, and he has an impact on it. This is the DCU Batman.
Again, this Batman sighting comes up in Dr. Phosphorus's flashback in episode 6, and then in episode 7, the finale, Dr. Phosphorus says this.
You know what it's like not being touched for 15 years?
15 years! That tells us that Dr. Phosphorus's wife was murdered 15 years before the events of Creature Commandos, and we don't know if this Batman sighting also took place 15 years prior to the main events, or maybe like a few years into Dr. Phosphorus's time as the leader of Rupert Thorne's gang. But since the guys he was dancing with seemed to be the same guys he recruited right after killing Thorne, it suggests that the Batman of this universe has been active in this Gotham for well over a decade. And when speaking to our colleague Brandon Davis at the Face Hero podcast, James Gunn confirmed that some of these looks of the DC heroes will be how they will look in live action, but not all of them.
So I would just love to know, did you already consider these are sort of designs for future projects, or is this?
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them, yes. And some of them, listen, we had to take an educated guess. We have a lot of steps to go through with some of the characters, and other of the characters we've kind of designed.
So yes, Superman in this future vision looks how David Cornsweet does in the Superman trailer. Same for Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Guy Gardner Green Lantern. Supergirl is wearing the Woman of Tomorrow suit that Millie Alcock's version of Supergirl is confirmed to be wearing in next summer's Supergirl film. Peacemaker, Vigilante, and Judo Master look as they do in the Peacemaker series. So I think the characters that James Gunn is leaving room to revise are specifically Batman and Damian Wayne Robin. Maybe also Wally West the Flash, Starfire, Starfire, and Blue Beetle. When James Gunn first announced his Gods and Monsters phase of the DC slate in January 2023, he said that the Batman film of the DCU would be The Brave and the Bold, which would introduce the Bat family, including Batman's biological son, Damian Wayne, the fifth Robin. Gunn also said that it would be based on Grant Morrison's run of the Batman comics from 2006 to 2013, and in June 2023, Flash director Andy Muschietti was announced to direct this Batman film. Damian Wayne is the fifth Robin, after Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Stephanie Brown. Damian Wayne is the biological son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, as Talia and her father Ra's al Ghul wanted to merge the al Ghul bloodline with the Wayne bloodline to create a vessel for Ra's to possess and live on within. Damian was first introduced as a baby in the 1987 Son of a Demon storyline, but actually was later brought back as a Robin and a biological son of Bruce in his adopted Bat family in 2006 in Grant Morrison's Batman number 657. So that is the Batman we see in Creature Commandos, one that's been active in Gotham for over a decade, and it makes sense that someone this old would be a father figure to a Damian Wayne Robin. But there's still no release date for this DCU Batman the Brave and the Bold movie. In recent weeks, Andy Muschietti confirmed that the movie is postponed, with the possibility of him working on another movie before this one. And when promoting Creature Commandos, James Gunn told Collider that he has no script submitted for this DCU Batman film, and he's in no rush and has no timeline to force Batman into this universe. So this delay of the Andy Muschietti Batman Brave and the Bold movie, plus fond feelings toward the recent season of The Penguin on HBO Max, might be why there has been some speculation that James Gunn is considering, or should consider, just adopting the Gotham and the Batman of Matt Reeves the Batman as the official Gotham and Batman of the DCU. Previously, James Gunn committed to not doing that, just setting DC stories both within an interconnected continuity of the DCU, and additionally allowing other DC stories to exist in what he calls Elseworlds. Like DC Elseworlds include the world of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movies and the Matt Reeves Robert Pattinson Batman movies and the Penguin. I don't think I'm going out on a limb saying that we all like to be comfortable when we sleep. Nobody wants to wake up sweating bullets or with their teeth chattering. There is a Goldilocks zone for temperature that's just right, and if you want your temperature to be just right all night, try Miracle Made sheets. Miracle Made's fabric was inspired by NASA, so it's also thermoregulating. That means you'll sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Plus, these sheets are crazy comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. Plus, Miracle Made sheets are infused with silver that prevents bacterial growth. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne, so sleeping on Miracle Made sheets is good for your skin too. Upgrade your sleep this year. Go to trymiracle.com/newrockstars to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo, New Rockstars, at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/newrockstars and use the code NEWROCKSTARS to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/newrockstars to treat yourself. Thank you to Miracle Made for sponsoring today's video. But people just want Batman, right? And in December, James Gunn spoke to Josh Horowitz of the Happy Sad Confused podcast and said that he had considered making the Robert Pattinson Batman the main Batman of the DCU, but just considered it.
Have you contemplated, have you had the conversation, have you reconsidered integrating Pattinson's Batman into your DCU?
I've contemplated it. Yeah, we've contemplated it. Gotta contemplate everything, John. Like, we gotta talk about everything. Like, it just means like, and then see, like, you can't, these questions you can't answer because people are too,
Right. Yeah, you would be an idiot not to have that.
They make everything
to
mean. An idiot not to think, what's this gonna, how does this go? How does this go? But I'm committed to both telling stories in the DCU and telling Elseworld story. I want the freedom to tell Elseworld stories. We want to be able to, tell a story in which, Superman's very different, or tell a Red Sun story or whatever. It's like we want to be able to play with these characters in different ways, and they're different. One of the things I love about DC over Marvel comic books is that those things are much more plentiful. There's many more Elseworld stories. There's many more presentations of Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman, especially, that you see them showing up in different ways in different Elseworld stories. I think that's part of the fun of DC.
And then last week at the Golden Globes, Josh Horowitz raised this question to Matt Reeves himself.
And last thing for you, I spoke to James Gunn recently, and I asked him, obviously he talked about, letting you do your Reeves verse on his own. And I did ask him, have you contemplated recently integrating Rob into the DCU? And he said, they've talked about it because you talk about everything.
Sure, yeah.
What's your attitude about that at this point?
I mean, it really comes down to whether or not it makes sense. And, I think what's been great is there was really a kind of a story that I wanted to tell, we're calling the epic crime saga and all of that, which is the thrust of what we wanted to do. And it's been important to me to be able to play that out. Yeah. And, James and Peter have been really, really great about that, and they're letting us do that. And, what the future brings, I can't really tell you. I have no idea right now, except that my head is down now about getting the Batman Part 2 shooting and to make it something really, really special, which of course is the most important thing.
And if they decide, we really want Rob to be our DCU Batman?
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see where that goes.
Fair enough. I won't put you on the spot anymore. Congratulations. Enjoy this night. Congratulations
Thanks
on
so
everything,
much.
man.
Appreciate it.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you, Josh.
So you can imagine how people who want this to be the case are taking these open doors and running with them. Elsewhere, on the Golden Globes red carpet, Matt Reeves confirmed that they would be shooting the Batman Part 2 in this coming year, 2025. But last month, Warner Brothers announced that the release date of Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 would be delayed from October 2nd, 2026 to October 1st, 2027. 2027? That's over 5 years after the first The Batman came out in early 2022. James Gunn has gone on social media defending this long gap period, and he has just made it clear that he doesn't want to even greenlight DC movies until a script is written that he approves of, and that Matt Reeves still has not submitted a script for The Batman Part 2. But by Matt Reeves saying that he's going to shoot The Batman Part 2 sometime in this year, I think he has some script in some stage that he feels confident in. I think we can look at that DCU Batman and that DCU Gotham as they were shown in Creature Commandos, that thick daddy Batman, and clearly differentiate between the more slender Year 2 Batman played by Robert Pattinson, and conclude that Gunn does not intend for there to be a path where these two are the same Batman. James Gunn's DCU so far is filled with metahumans, reptilian kaiju, Starro, the alien parasitic butterflies. Meanwhile, Matt Reeves' The Batman is a grounded crime saga in which the craziest thing that happened are floods caused by Riddler detonations and some pretty psychedelic mushroom trips. The Gotham of the DCU, as we saw in Creature Commandos, has a nuclear radiation chamber that turns people into this, Dr. Phosphorus. Would Dr. Phosphorus make sense as a member of Gotham's Rogues Gallery alongside Colin Farrell's Oz Cobb? I don't know. So here's where we stand with James Gunn's DC slate. Creature Commandos Season 1, all episodes now on HBO Max. Superman, coming July 11th, 2025. The Superman, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, and Rick Flag Sr. that we saw in Creature Commandos will return in this movie. Also returning is the Middle Eastern country Jahanpur that got mentioned in Creature Commandos. It's going to be a setting in Superman as a country that gets invaded by Baravia. Peacemaker Season 2 coming to HBO Max in August 2025. Amanda Waller and John Economos will return from their recent sightings in Creature Commandos. Meanwhile, Peacemaker and Vigilante will return as well. James Gunn has said that most of Season 1 of Peacemaker is canon to the DCU, with the exception of the ending shot that showed the DCEU/Snyderverse lineup of the Justice League. Perhaps we're going to learn that those cameos amounted to some kind of hallucination. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, a film coming to theaters on June 26, 2026, starring Millie Alcock as Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El, wearing the Woman of Tomorrow suit that we saw in Creature Commandos. This movie is being directed by I, Tonya director Craig Gillespie from a script by Ana Noguera that James Gunn was blown away by. Jason Momoa is returning in this movie as the villain Lobo. We expect to see Kara as a cameo in Superman this summer. Lanterns, first season coming to HBO Max, perhaps in June 2026. Kyle Chandler is starring as Hal Jordan Green Lantern, Aaron Pierre playing John Stewart Green Lantern. The pilot was written by Chris Mundy, Tom King, and Damon Lindelof, along with the full series Bible. It's expected to be a true detective type mystery set on Earth. They're actually shooting this series from February to July of this year. Next, a Clayface film coming September 11th, 2026, directed by horror director Mike Flanagan of the Netflix Haunting series and Dr. Sleep. James Gunn said that Flanagan's pitch and his first draft and his second draft just got better and better. A version of Clayface appeared in Creature Commandos, voiced by Alan Tudyk, who was involved with the plot with Princess Alana to make it look like Professor McPherson's assessment of Cersei and her vision couldn't be trusted. Clayface appeared to die during the season, electrocuted by Eric Frankenstein and left as a gooey mess. So will Flanagan's Clayface ignore that continuity? Is Clayface not really dead and like there's a piece of him inchworming away like Venom? Will Flanagan's Clayface just exist as an Elseworlds story? All we really know is that the character will not be a traditional villain, and given Flanagan's dark director style, I just don't know how they're going to do this without making it an Elseworld story. Next, Waller, a live-action season of episodes centered around Amanda Waller, expected to come sometime after Peacemaker Season 2. Then, The Batman Part 2, an Elseworlds film being shot in 2025 and coming out in October 1st, 2027. But we'll see. Maybe it could come earlier. Matt Reeves intends on these movies being a trilogy. There was a huge Court of Owls Easter egg in the final episode of The Penguin, and there have been some hints that Mr. Freeze could be the villain of this second film. But then at some point, we're going to have Batman the Brave and the Bold, a DCU Batman movie with no release date currently, directed by Andy Muschietti, an older Batman, and his son, Damian Wayne, as Robin. The Authority, a film with a to-be-determined release date, in which the engineer from Superman is expected to return. Then Paradise Lost, a season of TV about the political drama on Themyscira before the birth of Diana Wonder Woman. Creature Commandos referred to Themyscira a few times. Amanda Waller and Rick Flag Sr. described it as a place where no outsider had set foot, and that the sorceress Circe came from Themyscira but was exiled after she predicted a tsunami would hit the island, and I speculated in our breakdown that that wave could have been sent by the Atlanteans. Next, Swamp Thing, a film being developed by James Mangold that we thought would be an Elseworld story, but James Gunn and Peter Safran have since said that they intend it to be interconnected to the DCU. Okay. Next, Booster Gold, the first season coming to HBO Max in some to-be-determined time period. There's also in development an untitled Teen Titans film, a film with no release date being developed by Ana Nogueira, the writer of the Supergirl film. I assume this lineup is going to include Starfire, who we saw in Creature Commandos. Next, an untitled Bane and Deathstroke film, a film being developed by Matthew Orton. Also, a Sergeant Rock film being developed by writer Justin Kuritzis, with Challengers director Luca Guadagnino in talks to direct the film, and Daniel Craig in talks to star. We saw Sergeant Rock in the flashback to World War II in the G.I. Robot episode of Creature Commandos. Next, an untitled Blue Beetle series being developed by Miguel Puga that could be connected to the 2023 Blue Beetle film starring Solo Maridueña. And of course, a Creature Commandos Season 2 that it was greenlit for, with the new Task Force M lineup at the end of Season 1 consisting of The Bride, Dr. Phosphorus, Weasel, a rebuilt G.I. Robot, Nosferatu, Kalis, and King Shark returning from the Suicide Squad. So that is a lot of stuff. James Gunn remains resolute that none of these will move forward without good scripts. And I'm sure the studio Warner Brothers is resolute that none of this will move forward unless Superman is a massive hit this summer. Comment down below with your thoughts on all this. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels of the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. And please consider joining us as a member. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.